My name is Timothy Collinson. I'm the Faculty Librarian for Technology, and this video is going to take us through some thinking about plagiarism. So if I share my screen with you, hopefully you can see my slides there. And if I choose the right file, and you can see that I'm beginning with a quote there from Isaac Newton and a letter he wrote to Robert Hooke saying, "If I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants." He was recognizing that he wasn't working in a vacuum, that he was building on work that had gone before him. And we're doing exactly the same in higher education. We're looking at other people's work to inform our learning and then to build on their work in our assignments, our dissertations, and our research. So what is referencing? Essentially, it's recognizing the work, the ideas, the opinions of other people that you've used in the preparation of your work, and making sure that you letting others know that you've used their work. And then you're identifying the authors and their work, which you've used to create your assignments, so that other people can find that work and go back to it. So why do we reference? Well, the first thing is it establishes the extent and the quality of our research. It's one of the few places in British culture where we can show off, and it's actually a good thing. We strengthen our academic argument. It's not just us saying this, but other people have gone before us and done the research. We're acknowledging the moral right of authors that we've used to their own work. And perhaps when you get into the workplace, you'll appreciate the same in return. You wouldn't want your ideas and your work being ripped off. As I said before, it allows readers to consult and to verify our data. If we're saying that so and so did this work, we can actually go back and see what they said and what work they did and check that that's okay. It also allows us to revisit our own research. Many times we're doing assignments, perhaps in one particular module or something like that, or we're going on to do a dissertation that builds on something we've done before, and we think, I did something or I read something on that would be really helpful now. And if we can find that again, it's much easier if we've done proper referencing. And of course, there's the very pragmatic reason that we can avoid plagiarism and be stopped from having to either redo an assignment or retake a year or even being thrown out of the university. And we don't want that to happen. So that's one of the reasons we put these videos together to help you to avoid that. So plagiarism essentially occurs when we don't acknowledge the ideas of others. When we build on someone's ideas without acknowledging them, we must cite them. Perhaps we slightly change the wording of the original source and then we don't bother putting in all the information about where we got it from. Or perhaps we copy word from textbooks without including the page numbers and that kind of thing. Or maybe we use generative AI to actually write parts of our assignments or projects for us. So do beware of that. And we've got some referencing help on that if you do want to use generative AI in appropriate ways. Or possibly even we submit as our work someone else's assignment, something we bought off the internet or a friend or something like that. If in doubt, reference, because all of those and other things as well may count as plagiarism. So, reasons why we might plagiarize. I understand these. Some of these apply to the work that I do, so I really can understand them. We might have a lack of time because we started too late or the course is too pressured and that kind of thing. Maybe we can't do the coursework. It's just too difficult. We're not keeping up, or we're finding there's a lack of support. Don't miss the support that the university can offer you. Perhaps in the departments, there may be additional skills units. Then there's definitely lots of help in the library that you can get on both referencing and other things. And there may be other support that you can find as well, perhaps in chaplaincy and well-being and that kind of thing. It might be a fear of a poor mark or not wanting to disappoint. Some students come from cultures where perhaps relatives or friends are very invested in what you're doing here at the University of Portsmouth. And so that there is that kind of worry and concern, and it might encourage you to think that plagiarism is an appropriate way of dealing with that. You might regard it as more efficient, saving time. It might just be laziness. Perhaps you don't think it's wrong. You may come from cultures where it's actually a little bit acceptable to use the works of people who have gone before you. But in Western higher education, I'm afraid that is something that you're going to get into trouble for. And don't think you can get away with it as easily as you can cut and paste from online sources. Academics can do similar to find where you found it. And they can also use tools like Turnitin to assess how much you might have copied and how little you might have referenced. It's also worth noting that plagiarism actually hinders your learning. Even if on the left-hand side, you're just taking a surface approach to what you're doing. Even here, you can see at number 3 that citing textbook knowledge as supporting evidence can help learning that you're doing. On the right-hand side, if you're trying to take a more deep approach and actually have the aim of understanding your subject, you can see a whole host of things there where referencing and proper citations can actually help you with your learning, whether it's relating your own knowledge to the new knowledge that you're coming up with, whether it's relating theory to experience, whether it's separating evidence from argument, whether it's looking at how things are structured and crafting the content to emphasize how you've learnt what you're doing. So do make sure that you're thinking about that as well, so that you're not missing out on learning that would be obviously really valuable to you, but obviously will also help you in your time here at university. And don't forget that good referencing can contribute to those aims in ways that perhaps are not obvious, but can be really powerful. I've got 3 examples here. I won't go into these in detail, but you can explore those later if you like. The links are there on the slides, but definitely copyright cases are easy to find on the internet, and you can see how professional musicians or architects or even mathematicians in the middle example can be either the victim of or perpetrate plagiarism. So don't think that it's just a university thing. It happens in the real world as well, and you can get into trouble for it. And of course, in the real world, it might be legal difficulties. And just to say, I didn't create this PowerPoint presentation on my own. So I've referenced here some of the things that I looked at in order to put it together. I should just say, though, that usually your reference lists will just be in alphabetical order by author. I've just tried to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on there by arranging it by topic, but that's probably not something you should be doing in typical assignments or dissertations unless your academics have asked for it. So I hope that's been helpful in just giving you a little insight in how to avoid plagiarism, and hopefully you can see there that there's lots of help for you, but also do get in touch with us if you've got any questions, and we're happy to try and answer them.